Hello, what nuts, Humpty Dump Nuts. We want the Cup Nuts and Eli Sun Nuts. It is Friday, June 7th in the United States, and this is What Chaos presented by Bauer. Head to bauer.com/training to explore the full range of training gear like the digital reactor dangler for stick handling drills or the reactor slide board to help add strength to your stride. Use code FREESHIPWC for free shipping or visit a local Bauer retailer to get started today. My name is David Bean. To my left is a man named Peter Blackburn, and over there is our friend. We call him Hookah Pekka Wukanen because HW. It's Sean DePaz. Hi, buddy.
Hey, howdy. I didn't really understand what just happened.
There was all off the dome.
Wukanen,
Hookah Pekka
HW.
Wukanen, HW, Plainview.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
It's a big day.
It
We're
is
all
a big
very
day.
excited. Tomorrow, the Stanley Cup Final begins. We'll talk about some other stuff, but a big part of why the vibes are so good, I think, is we're so excited because we're finally done with this week of... It has been a very fun week, but like we actually get to watch hockey games and meaningful hockey games too. But the Whatnuts organized like a night for themselves last night, and that is music to both of our ears. The community aspect of this freaking podcast is taken off.
Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable. There was a There Will Be Blood screening in our Discord last night, which just incredible. Shout out to Jesse Larkin, who is basically the godfather of the Discord. And shout out to him. He organized that. Massive, massive respect. Thank you to everybody who joined in the There Will Be Blood screening. Sean came in. He was part of it. He came in this morning. We didn't plan for the show at all. Everybody was just talking about There Will Be Blood.
I was going to note that. We won't be off today, but if at any point we are off today, it's because we talked about There Will Be Blood the entire hour and a half that we've been here.
Yeah, that is... If an exaggeration, a very, very slight one.
And
very slight exaggeration.
As I was sitting down to begin the show, I realized we talked about all these scenes, and we didn't even talk about one of the best scenes, and that shows how many great scenes there are in There Will Be Blood. Sean, as somebody who was there, what was the vibe? Was there a chat? Were people mostly repeat customers of this 2007 Paul Thomas Anderson Classic, or were they there for the first time?
I think it was a little bit of a mix. It was awesome. There was a chat. We were just vibing out the whole time. There were definitely some people who had seen it before because you could tell when like the big moments of the movie were coming up. But I think everyone in there was respectful of anybody that might have been watching it for the first time. So there wasn't too much of like a...
That's my community.
One thing I hate when watching movies with somebody who's seen them before is not even them spoiling it, but them being like,
get ready
for this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Number one,
Let me experience it as authentically as possible.
Yes.
Please.
Pete and I both share this. Do not look at me when we're watching something.
This happened
or listening.
Famously when I watched it for the first time. I was with a group of friends, but the girl I was sitting next to had read the book, I guess, and was just like, oh man, oh no. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Stop it. Let me watch the movie.
Yeah, no good.
But we behaved properly last night.
Great night last night. Also a great day today for the show. It is the Stanley Cup Final Eve. It's also DJ and Sean's birthday. So it is a massive, massive day for the show.
And Mike
Happy
Madonna's.
birthday, gentlemen.
Thank you.
No, we're not twins. Different years, but I would say that we are
Treacherous little
brothers. Sean, you're like family to me.
You're like, well, I was going to say you're like the other Plainview brother, but that didn't turn out all that well.
There's a twist there with that character.
A little bit.
Are you talking about the lore of the character or the way in the movie? The lore behind how...
Well, I mean, you meet this character and you think, well, that's definitely his real brother. That's for sure. Those guys got to be related.
Yeah.
You Plainview. There's no way that after Daniel Plainview had an oil strike that was making news and reaching like newspapers down in Mexico, that it would be a coincidence that his brother would just appear a few days later. Good for this guy. And now they get to be family together. They do have some fun times together. I'll say, for the fate that he met, I wouldn't do what Daniel did to this guy. I would have said, get out of my face. But just the scene where they're out getting liquored up and he's laughing and he's like, can I have some money? Can I have some money? Can I have some money? Just off of that, not even the can I have some money part, but I'm like, buddy, you're fucking driving me crazy. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Showing up and then just immediately being like, give me money so I can hire a prostitute.
Money, please.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not that crazy.
It's a little crazy.
It's not that crazy.
I mean, it's bad behavior.
Some people it's bad behavior, but some people have their priorities. Shout out to Katie for a super chat.
Thank you.
$18.
How did you know how
Happy
old I was?
birthday, DJ.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any super chats for my 30 birthdays I've had, but
Actually, my current birthday is a multiple of 18, famously.
Yeah, damn, you kind of ruined the joke that you used in our group chat
Oh, yeah.
this morning, which was a very strong move. I liked it, but I sniffed it out immediately.
I'm in my Shaq year.
You're in my Shaquille O'Neal year, and I said Celtics Shaq?
Yeah, 36.
36.
Yeah, but if you say I'm in my Shaquille O'Neal year, I think people could take that to mean 32 for sure. 34 as well.
Yep.
You were 30.
So.
34 is probably more
I would say
famous.
34 would be
Yeah.
what I would think.
Well, that's because
He's
Shaq
going to be
at his
remembered
height.
as a Laker.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to be.
Shaq as a Magic, though, was so fucking cool.
Yeah, agreed.
Moment in time.
Yeah.
But the Magic are going to be back. Don't you fret. Yeah, we got a nice show today to kind of recap, or I guess just wind down this crazy ass week. We've had so many people on. We had Bob on. We had Jack Michaels on. We had Jackie Redmond on. We had Petey on. We had Roy Bellamy on yesterday. That was a lot of fun. Who else? Did I miss anybody? We
don't think so.
Really ran the gamut.
Oh, the $18 was for Zach Hyman.
Oh,
Hyman's number.
Zach Hyman.
Why couldn't you have been a gigantic Connor McDavid guy?
Yes.
That would be way more financially
my favorite player is Wayne Gretzky.
beneficial for the
Yes,
for the
that's
squad.
right. I'm a Victor Hedman guy, so 77 a bajillion times because that
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
77
Yeah, that's
X
right.
1000.
I'm a
Jeff Skinner 1,000 games guy.
exactly, yeah. I'm a Victor Hedman specifically on his 1000th game night guy.
Will Lightly, I guess. We did not discuss this as we were talking about There Will Be Blood, but Sean, I guess, kind of keep an eye on Twitter because today is media day for the Stanley Cup Final. And if it was in New York, we were going to try to go if they were going to let us in because the teams practice and the players are available at pods. And if there's one last gasp at grab ass for the entire season, it is today. If you want to get any sort of fun stuff done, today would be the day to do it. We famously are here getting ready for tomorrow, which will be a long live stream, be an absolute blast. Subscribe on YouTube and watch there. But today, the Panthers will go at, I believe, 11:45. So they should be talking now. If anything fun and interesting emerges, we will update you on it. The Oilers, I believe, are at 1:45. So unless Bauer Rankings goes for a very long time, we probably will not have any updates from the Oilers. But we've kind of gotten updates this week anyway. Evander Kane expected to play in Game 1. That's huge. I like that both teams for this series are going to be at full strength-ish, pretty much. You take it, given what the Panthers were last year.
Yeah, I know. That's the one thing is that this is a great matchup, but also it seems like they're both kind of heading into here, as far as we know, pretty healthy, and that's important for the sake of entertainment and for the sake of finding out who's the better team. I'm very excited for this matchup. I'll be honest. I've seen some people hating on it, which there's always going to be haters, but oh man, this is going to be an awesome Stanley Cup Final.
I think it's going to be an awesome Stanley Cup Final too, and we're starting to see things go the other way. We'll reveal our picks for the Stanley Cup. Our staff predictions are out on Twitter already, so you can know who's picking what and how many games. But we'll give some honest from the heart which team we think will win. I don't really care to do the games thing Do you?
No, not really.
Do you have like in your heart, you think, oh, it's the Panthers will do it in 5 or whatever, Sean? You don't?
No, I feel like unless you're predicting a sweep, what's the point?
Yeah, or
I'll tell you what,
sweep or like 7 games where it's only indicative of kind of how you feel the disparity is between the teams.
But like the difference between 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 is just not really anything. Like if a series were to go that,
exactly.
I felt like a big asshole last night because I bet the Celtics to win the NBA Finals in 5 games. I do not think I'm winning that.
Dude, I watched that game last night.
What'd you think, buddy?
The NBA sucks.
The NBA sucks.
The NBA is the worst professional sports product in the United States.
Just that,
when
because
good,
that can be the final.
Yeah, right.
Well,
That's
it's just
thing.
like I saw a clip of Kobe. Obviously, it's an old clip of him talking about how the NBA nowadays is literally just guys driving and kicking. Like there's no actual basketball being played. Like they just drive, wait for the defense to clap, and kick it out to somebody to shoot. That's the entire game. Like it's just there's nothing. There was no basketball being played. Guys would drive, and I admittedly wasn't paying like 100% like locked in, but every time I was, guys would drive, kick it to somebody out.
I want guys to beat the shit out of each other.
And like I want basketball. I want there to be plays,
I love good
some organization,
basketball.
Yeah, I mean that's great too.
But
But that's why I love
Shaq,
college basketball because there's so much more. There tends to be much more structure.
You do have to though tip your cap to Brad Stevens and the way that he's constructed this roster.
Oh yeah,
and I wouldn't say constructed the roster, like taken advantage and struck while the iron was hot, like getting Drew Holiday.
I mean, all of that stuff. Like
or
when
not,
it comes to,
like, gave up a lot, but like
when it comes to the roster building and like the reason the NBA is interesting is basically everything that happens off of the court. But once it comes to the actual basketball being played, I have very little interest in it.
I just can't believe that anybody was talking themselves into the Mavericks. Like Stephen A. Smith, who's a smart person, said that the Mavericks were going to win the series.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody on the Celtics can shoot. All 5 of the starting 5 can shoot, can score. Luka Doncic is incredible. Kyrie Irving is incredible. Kyrie defends when he feels like defending, and Luka does not defend at all.
It's kind of like Oilers Stars. You could argue that the 2 best players in the series are on the Mavericks. At least the best player in the series is on the Mavericks.
I agree.
But after you get past that top 1 or top 2, the Celtics are a better team from like 2 through 10.
It does bring me to this though. Has the time off given people in the NHL the opportunity to be as stupid? Because I think this week has seen people go from, so we're all picking the Panthers, right? Panthers are smothering teams. Panthers are blah, 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 to like, by the end of the week, I feel like people are like, oh no, Oilers either can win this series or people just outright picking the Oilers. Oilers are a betting and DFSing underdog. I saw our guy Johnny Lazarus put out his prediction. Do you see this?
No.
It was a good, stout, full, robust 2-minute prediction. Lot of great care put into it.
Okay.
Explaining what each team does well, how they match up. He has Oilers in 7.
Okay.
And Pete and I both have the Oilers winning this series in the Stanley Cup.
I do, and it's not like I'm not convinced, I'm not certain, I'm not even confident. It's more just I'm operating off of vibes and wants. And I want the Oilers to win. I think the Oilers have a lot of momentum in their corner, and they've consistently proven people wrong, including myself, at almost every stage of these playoffs. And so I'm going to ride with them, but I think it's going to be a very close, very good series, and I would not be shocked at all if the Panthers won.
I think the Oilers are the best team in the entire NHL to deal with what the Panthers do at 5-on-5. I think that the Oilers are going to capitalize on those turnovers at the blue line. And if at 5-on-5, the Oilers can hang with the Panthers, see you later, because the Oilers are going to win the special teams battle. They've killed 28 straight penalties. They're the best penalty killing team left, or in the entire postseason. They're the best power play team in the entire postseason. And yes, the Panthers penalty kill is very good, but I just think that at 5-on-5, given that the Oilers are positioned to either weather or take advantage of what the Panthers do, which is that aggressive forecheck, which is trying to keep pucks in at the blue line. We've talked about it with Petey. Add that to the fact the Oilers are the better special teams team, and like for real, I will pick and predict the Oilers to win the Cup.
What if the Panthers get to Stu, though?
That's the big question. And in the previous round, both of you sniffed out that the goalie matchup here is not as it seems. Jake Ottinger is not much better, if at all, than Stuart Skinner.
No, that's not what we said.
Yes, you did.
No, that's not what I said.
You said they're closer. You said that they were basically the same guy, or you said like they were same levels of effectiveness. You said that the gap between the two isn't as big as people thought.
Correct. I thought that people were overstating how good one was and overstating how bad the other one was.
And in the end, what do we see? Who is better?
Yeah, Stu was better. But I think the thing with Skinner is that you kind of have to evaluate him on a game-by-game basis.
Right. I mean, I think I'll say about Stu is like, I feel like this is the general idea about him is that you just don't know. But like we've seen games in the last round where the Stars got to him immediately. Like they scored on the first shot and then he still was fine. Yeah. So like maybe that's just what Stu is right now that's
a good point where like Stu might have his moments, but he's not necessarily having full bad games, which the Oilers can survive that. I don't know if the Oilers can survive if Stu has full bad games, which it's been a while since we've gotten one of those. And I think that he has some confidence behind him, which is huge. But again, I still think that you kind of need to evaluate Stu Skinner on a game-by-game basis, and I don't think that applies to Sergei Bobrovsky nearly as much.
Yeah, I'd be stunned if the Oilers won a game in which Stu was bad Stu. If Stu was game 3 of the second round Stu. But when you evaluate Skinner this postseason, like he was good in the first round. And like he had a shutout in the first round. And yeah, it was against the Kings, but like it was just a small pocket of the second round where he was terrible. Like tank your entire postseason numbers, terrible. But outside of that, he's been either solid, which is not a hallmark of Stu Skinner. Stu Skinner is rarely solid.
I don't know if I would agree with that. I think that he was I think this regular season he wasn't like amazing or anything. Their team save percentage I was looking this up yesterday. Their team save percentage under Knobloch was .904, which is modest, but serviceable.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe solid. Yeah, maybe solid is his baseline, and I suppose it's just more likely that he's great or terrible than he is below average. I don't know if I've ever seen him below average.
I don't think he reaches great. All that often.
He's
had his occasional.
He was really
great
good in games 5 and 6.
Game 6, he was unbelievable, but that is a rare occurrence. I would say, like unbelievable Stu Skinner.
There were
I would say you're more likely to get a horrible game than an unbelievable Stu Skinner game.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. And I think that you're more likely to get a horrible game than you are to get a below average game. Like, because even in the games, like Sean said, like even in the games where you're like, well, you want to stop that first one, or like, ooh, that goal was bad.
Those essentially come out to average by the end of it.
Right. Yeah. There's like one per game, and it's the only goal he allows in the game, or it's one of 2 goals that he allows in the game. Do we have another super chat from Pulley? It says, actual basketball is still overrated.
Disagree. I like basketball.
What do you mean?
When it's great. When basketball's at its best, I think.
Yeah, I was saying what the NBA is. It's not actual basketball.
Oh, right. You want Bob Cousy.
I was actually I was actually thinking about this last night. Like, what's your favorite basketball team of all time? Because the Celtics got me thinking about that. I was like, this Celtics team is like maybe like one of the better teams that we've seen.
Oh, you mean like single like roster?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough not to love the 08 Celtics.
I mean, I actively hated the 08 Celtics at the time because my dad was a big Celtics fan. Well, no, because my dad was a big Celtics fan, and so my sister became a big Celtics fan, and I was always beef with my sister, so I was like, I have to hate the Celtics now. But because of that, I knew that roster like the back of my hand, like Eddie House, all of them. I loved Brian Scalabrine back in the day. I don't know. Was he on the 08 roster?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
You want me to introduce you?
Sure.
I could introduce you. I know Brian Scalabrine pretty well.
I
And
know.
as I introduced you, I would say, hey, this is Sean. And Brian Scalabrine very seriously would probably say, and what is your name? Even though I know the guy.
Oh, to you. I was like, okay.
He'd be like, fuck, we've met, haven't we? I'd be like, we've worked together for years.
For the record, it's funny because it's very topical right now. The most I've ever been into basketball was the clipped era Clippers. Like Blake Griffin. Lob City Clippers was the most. That's my favorite team.
Tip my hand for Bauer Rankings, but I watched another episode.
Did
Can't
you?
stop watching that fucking show. Pot committed after like 15 minutes and not liking it.
That Celtics team, obviously amazing and near and dear to my heart. I think my favorite basketball team, I guess outside of the Chicago Bulls in like the mid 90s.
You gonna say Pistons?
Yes.
Oh,
the
yeah.
04, 05 Pistons.
Hard not to love that team.
Just so fucking awesome.
Led
and
by
well-rounded.
Celtics great
Chauncey
Billups. Yeah.
Rip
yeah.
Hamilton,
I
Tayshaun
mean, those
Prince,
Rip Hamilton is like
Rashid,
an
Ben
all
Wallace.
time.
Ben Wallace was such a fucking
That-
dog.
that
But yeah,
team was for
Ben
the
Wallace is
culture.
the definition of like, you have no business being a professional athlete. Fuck yeah, go win a championship.
Go be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like a perfect place for him to be because he didn't have to do anything except play defense and be just a monster.
I
on that
remember I would
Pistons
get like
team.
the NBA. It was like 2K because ESPN. Did ESPN start like the 2K thing?
Yeah.
So like I had like ESPN.
Ben
and
Wallace on
NBA
the cover,
2K,
like
and
looking
I'd be
like
like-
he was about to pop that basketball.
Yeah, and I'd be like, I'm gonna be Ben Wallace, and he probably had like a 76 rating, and you're like, oh yeah, he's not like an amazing player.
But he was the perfect guy for that team.
And this is around the time where like we were all fucking horny for Kendrick Perkins, you know?
Yeah.
So,
That's the basketball that I miss. That like not everybody had to do everything. Not everybody had to be able to shoot threes.
Put a fat guy at center.
Exactly.
those old Spurs teams, like that big three of one player who was really good, like a Hall of Famer, and then two.
Yeah, I kind of
above
hate.
average players.
I kind of hate positionless basketball. I'll say that.
Like,
you know, those teams though struck a nerve in Boston because that was like the Celtics tanked famously for Tim Duncan, and I know
That's why you
I'm
don't
talking
tank.
to a fucking Sabres fan. I
why you don't
rewatched the 2015 NHL draft lottery the other day. It was
Why?
the best.
Fuck you.
He does the weirdest shit.
It was
That-
the best.
that-
It was just like because I was in like my Oilers feelings.
You
And-
bringing this up is basically Knobloch bringing up the Super Bowls. Like,
okay, I'm sorry.
Double
but
out.
This was when the Sunday Skate Show existed on WEEI, and we did an hour on the Oilers to begin the show after that.
Because the Sabres fucking cried about getting number 2.
Yeah.
They were such bitches about getting number 2, like they deserved the top overall pick.
I mean, we did.
I mean,
Because like, think about it, at the time, Edmonton just kept getting picks.
Yeah.
And so I think everyone was just like, what the
But
fuck's
in
going
that
on?
draft, it was, I mean, McDavid was obviously McDavid, and winning him was huge, but you had like a real 1B there.
yes, I remember
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that
for
was
sure.
the like any other year Eichel would be number 1, and still, even with Eichel's career, like that's like a number 1 overall pick
Yeah.
type player.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I don't think it was necessarily like anti-Jack Eichel sentiment. It was just the
But they were
Come
so
on, we deserve-
bitchy about losing the draft
because
lottery.
I was a lot younger. I wasn't like actively being anything, I guess, but like Buffalo is fucked over every time. Like we don't have anything. And so it was just a classic. Of course we lost.
I saw a mock draft in the Athletic yesterday, a very recent one coming off the
yeah.
combine that has TJ Ginla going to the Sabres at 11.
The only way I won't want that until pick 10 shows up. Like if Calgary for whatever reason passes on TJ Ginla, then I'm 100% in. Otherwise,
We are going to be
come
so
on.
up the Buffalo Sabres' dicks to go do content if
that TJ
they get a Ginla.
TJ Ginla Sabre.
So I don't want Teach to go to Buffalo. I said this in the chat yesterday. I don't want him to go to Buffalo because I want the Sabres to get adult players. They have enough exciting young talent, and I want Teach to go to Calgary. I need Teach to go to Calgary.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of wants TJ to go to Calgary, but if he doesn't for whatever reason, happily would like a TJ Ginla Sabres jersey would go.
Shout out Dakota in the chat. Vermont men's league team with our pal Brendan Bradley sent us these incredible jerseys. I'm going to grab mine real quick.
Sean, can you show the thing of me? And I think you should be able to see look at that Armenian looking number behind me. So beautiful.
What about it makes it Armenian?
The red, orange, and blue.
Oh, just the color. Okay.
Yeah.
And then check this out. Zoom in on this one. Oh my God.
Really, really
Unbelievable
nice.
jerseys. So shout out Brendan for sending these to us, and shout out to the boys who wore these during their season. I think it went somewhat well, I hope.
I think they were champions, I believe. The last thing I'll say as we took a little break from discussing the goalies in the Stanley Cup Final is prior to Jason Tatum, I considered Kevin Garnett the best Celtic of my life.
Of your life.
I was there for the end of Larry Bird, but I wasn't really there for the end of Larry Bird.
I was always a Ray Allen guy. Not that I think he was the best Celtic, but I've always loved Ray Allen.
Well, Felger was saying the other day, he was like, because people will say, like, who would win, like this team and 08 team or whatever. And he's like, if people watched the 08 Celtics play right now, like with their current understanding of how basketball is played, they'd be like, why aren't they giving Ray the ball more?
Ray Allen would be like the best
Ray
player
would
ever.
shoot 4,000 threes.
Yeah.
And
What
he'd
do-
make half of them.
Yeah.
Right. Ray Allen rocked. That was what a fun team
I
that
love
was.
those Heat teams too, by the way.
We did get we have a comparison of the goalies going into the Cup Final, and we base it off of the conference final because that's the most recent thing they had. But obviously, Stu's postseason stats are tanked by a couple of games in Vancouver, but very, very comparable in the conference final. You see there, if you're listening on audio, a .922 save percentage in 6 games in the conference final for Stuart Skinner, a .921 save percentage for Sergei Bobrovsky against the Rangers in 6 games. And you look at the shots against, 154 to 151. They were facing the same volume. Pretty uncanny there. Shout out Petey. He said it, I want to say at the beginning of the conference final, where he was like, Shesterkin is great right now. I think the other 3 guys are the same thing. And that sounds crazy because of the volatility of Stuart Skinner. But that's kind of how I feel about this match. Like, neither of these guys are the best goalie in the world. One, of course, has won the Vezina before.
Twice.
Both have twice. Both have shown a propensity for really strong play in the postseason.
Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah.
And both have shown a propensity for you can fucking get to that guy in your sleep.
Yeah, the one thing that I'll say, though, is that Bobrovsky's ceiling is way fucking higher than Stu Skinner's. So Bobrovsky can take over games in a way that Stu Skinner, like we previously mentioned, doesn't get to unbelievable Stu Skinner games very often. Bobrovsky has that ability.
I don't know. I mean, we'll find out because Bobrovsky's going to be facing a lot of breakaways and odd man rushes in this series. Mark my words. Like, that's how we'll find out. I oddly think the Oilers are less likely to give up a bunch of breakaways and odd man rushes with how they're defending right now. So I think Bob's job is going to be harder because he's facing better players, but I also think his workload is going to be more difficult. So that's I think Sergei Bobrovsky, of course, is a better goalie than Stuart Skinner, but I think that neither team has a massive advantage.
No, I would agree with that. And I think that unless one of the guys is really bad, which I'm not expecting, I don't think that goaltending is going to be a particularly important thing in this series, or
if that's
particularly
the case,
a significant contribution to the series.
I am praying for that because if that's the case, I think the Oilers win. I think that if goaltending is a wash, then I think that the Oilers win the series, and that would be music to my freaking ears. Another reason I like the Oilers in this series, Corey Perry as a second liner makes a lot more sense in this series than it does in the Dallas series. And we'll see probably in today's practice what lines might look like for tomorrow. Maybe it's because I've seen a few games of it. I can wrap my head around Corey Perry as a second liner way more right now than I could have a week ago going into game 5 what was it? Game 4? Yeah, game 4 when they went to Corey Perry and Broberg and all those guys. It didn't really make sense. It felt like a kind of Hail Mary, but with how the Panthers play and how feisty they are, I don't know if we ever played it. We didn't. Someone asked Adam Henrique and Corey Perry about all the feisty guys on the Panthers and how they mix it up. And Adam Henrique just laughed through it. And he was like, we have Corey Perry on our team. This will not be a problem. I like Corey Perry on the second line with Draisaitl a lot more against the Panthers than I did when they first did it against the Stars.
Yeah, but famously, Corey Perry in the Stanley Cup Final has not particularly worked out well for his last 4 teams.
I've got a little. You've got fatigue on hearing about the distance traveled. I've got fatigue on hearing about Corey Perry making it to the Stanley Cup Final.
I mean, it is pretty unbelievable that he's made it with 5 different teams.
You play on a million teams, you're gonna go to the Cup Final with some. Still, no,
you
it's
bounce
impressive.
around that much.
Yeah.
You're striking gold in a lot of different areas.
And
for him to make it,
uncanny.
did he make it 3 years in a row on 3 different teams? He had Montreal, Dallas, and the Lightning.
Yeah,
It's funny to me because he started the season being like, I'm going to be on the worst team in hockey. Like that was he came into the season being like, I don't plan on winning anymore.
Yeah, and
he
ends up back
can't
here.
help
It's
himself,
crazy.
but end up in the Stanley Cup.
I'm gonna get to an ad read in a few minutes, but can I also ask? I've been meaning to ask this all week. Like, are we anointing the Panthers maybe just like a little too early?
In terms of what?
I think they're winners, but like they're not champions. They
No.
haven't won it all yet. And we, as you look at this Cup Final, I think that there's a lot of like experience talk with the Panthers, and like they've been there, and it's like they have been there.
Yeah, but look at the final.
How'd it go?
It's because look at the final 4 teams that were left remaining in the Eastern Conference. The-
Explain.
Like the Panthers were the team that had been there
Yeah.
because you had.
But I'm saying people are saying that about this final, which so like you've been to the final before. Are people saying in the NBA, oh, hey, Celtics have been there before? No, people are picking the Mavericks because the Celtics have been there and lost.
I guess.
And I'm not like
I did hear them bring up that like the Celtics were the team that was there before, but like the Celtics don't have like as much of adult vibes as this Panthers team does. Like the Panthers turn themselves around pretty quickly, and especially when you consider that they're going up against the Oilers, who are new to the Cup Final scene. The Panthers are the adult team, just like Vegas was the adult team last year going up against the Panthers because they had been there before, and that this was part of like their climb. They'd reached the summit before, and the other team hadn't.
I'm not super offended by it. I'm just saying that does it really matter that much that they were there and they lost? I don't
think it does.
so.
Ask the Buffalo Bills. Like that was his whole thing. Like I feel like part of it is the context too, because like I feel like this generally we've seen it throughout the entire playoffs. Like the energy towards the Edmonton Oilers is just that like, how are they doing this?
They're
like,
gonna fuck it up.
They're gonna fuck it up at some point.
Yeah.
And so I think people, it's obviously not the same, but similar energy that's given to the Leafs, where it's just like, even if they are the better team on paper, that doesn't really mean anything because they're gonna find a way to fuck it up. And I think when you combine that with the fact that like the difference between the Panthers and the Celtics is that it was last year and now they're back, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think both of these teams are still on their like journey upwards.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, just given the ages of some of the
No, but I just mean in terms of like their arc as teams.
Oh,
Like-
yeah,
like,
I don't
this
think that
is
either-
not a team that has already reached the top of what they can be.
And I don't think that either of these teams are going anywhere either. Like next year, the Panthers will be favorites in the Eastern Conference again. Next year, the Oilers could
Look
be.
at the Panthers roster and how many UFAs they have. Like if they
Give it to
lose,
me.
if they lose Reinhart, like they got a lot of pending UFAs. You can pull it up on Cap Friendly. I do need to absolutely point out the Jesse Larkin joke that was made about Drake in the chat. Did you see that?
I did.
It was fucking incredible. Said Drake, you saw that Drake put $500,000 on the Oilers.
Yes, he also put $500,000 on the Mavericks.
Oh, yikes!
Not the best behavior.
Jesse Larkin said Drake only likes the Oilers because they have a strong hymen.
Oh, that was going around.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
that was
accusing Jesse Larkin of stolen valor.
Yes, Jesse, love you.
I think he admitted that he saw it on Twitter.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
somebody said they found out that he found out that Edmonton's hymen was healthy, so he bet $500,000 on it. Which, in fairness to Drake, I don't think he's betting money on minors. That's not the problem with it. That's not the issue with Ray.
Yeah, he's not betting on minor league baseball games or something.
That I do not believe was the accusation levied against him.
I'll say this, Drake has a kid with a porn star.
Brandon Montour, free agent. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, free agent. UFA's Nick Cousins, Kyle Okposo. That's like a big win for him.
There are so many Sabres in this series too.
Vladimir Tarasenko. Who's your favorite Sabre in the series?
In the series? Oh.
Do a quick Bauer rankings.
It's got to be Reinhart, right?
I mean,
Okposo won.
Okposo probably because he was our captain. We get a 5th round pick if they win. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it that deeply. I always liked Evan Rodriguez, to be honest with you.
Evan Rodriguez having like a long career is awesome, because when he was signed as like
to be friends with Jack Eichel.
Jack Eichel's college roommate, college line mate. Let's just make Jack comfortable. They sign Evan Rodriguez, and here we are years later. Evan Rodriguez putting together a really, really solid NHL career.
I love
very
that.
Cool.
Yes, I love that. Another thing, speaking of Sam Reinhart, people keep bringing up the 2014 draft and the top 4 that obviously Ekblad went number 1, Reinhart went number 2, Draisaitl goes number 3, and then Sam Bennett goes number 4. 3 of those players are now on the Panthers. Everyone keeps screen grabbing that and being like, ooh, wow, Panthers. Yeah. All right. It's like everybody in the fucking planet would rather have the one guy in that 4 that they don't have instead of those 3 guys, right?
Yeah, and I mean, they also got a couple of those guys after they were already established as good players in the NHL. It's not like they identified 3 guys in a draft and nailed 3 picks.
Which one? I can't remember. Either Bennett or Reinhart they kind of got for a song, right? It was like not a massive give. I'm sorry. Yeah. Maybe
it was Bennett. Reinhart, I think they traded a 1st-round pick and Devin Levi to get.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. And let's see. The Panthers in 2021, Bennett, along with a 6th-round pick, was traded to the Panthers in exchange for Emil Heineman and a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah. So that's
like a Brett Conley type of trade where it's like high draft pick. We'll throw some like okay stuff, but not paying a huge price.
And Bennett,
less than what Griffin Reinhart
Bennett
went
extremely important to that team, and that was kind of what signaled that the Panthers were like, we need to be way tougher, we need to have way more sandpaper, because Bennett is one of the nastiest guys in the league. Endearing.
The fabric of that team is Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett. Yeah, and it helps, of course, that you have Patrice Bergeron also on the team, and that you have Gus Forsling on the team. Like those things help. But like when people are like back in the day, like big bad, or like the modern big bad Bruins, oh yeah, they got Lucic and they got Horton and they got Iginla, or they got this guy, they got Char, mean customers and everything. It's like, you also have the best 2-way center. That is
true, but they had Barkov. They had Barkov forever, and it didn't fucking matter. Like, I wrote a column this week that may or may not be published. I don't know, but like this is a matchup of 2 teams in a Stanley Cup Final that over the past few years have learned so much about themselves and kind of changed their identity and changed their DNA in a way. And for the Panthers, it was that, like, they were an offensive team that was kind of quiet and kind of polite, and they realized that they couldn't win that way. And Bill Zito was very good at swiftly changing the makeup of that team. And it started with Bennett. It, was really, really amplified by going out and getting Tkachuk, and then like getting a guy like Nick Cousins, who, for all that's said about Nick Cousins and how much of an asshole he is, like, factors into the way that they play. And they're just so much more effective and so much easier to take seriously based off the fact that they're mean as fuck.
And then for Edmonton
is just that they had to play like adults and play with some semblance of defensive structure and be able to win games in various ways and not always outscore their problems.
And they had to change their coach to do that.
Exactly.
And that was a ballsy fucking thing. But yeah, it's a great point. 2 teams that were doing just fine. I didn't need you. I got everything I needed. It's like, Well, when you're that close and it's not happening, you can take
just
a risk.
wait. Yeah, you can just wait and say it's going to come to us, especially like Florida. Florida got swept after winning the fucking President's Trophy and averaging over 4 goals a game. Best offensive team in the league. Ran into the reigning back-to-back Stanley Cup champions in the second round, got swept. Would have been so easy to say, not our year. Let's stick to it. We'll break through eventually. They fucking changed their coach and traded their leading point scorer that summer, a guy who led the NHL in assists. Traded that guy for a guy that very, very quickly changed their culture and the makeup of their team.
I'm looking at the chat and I am dying inside, laughing, endearing. Somebody said I'm getting the agita from all this Panthers talk. I love the idea of the second we stop talking about the Oilers, someone being like, oh my God, will you give it a rest? Terrific. Today's episode.
Wait, hold on. Thank you, Pete. Barkov is overrated. I never said Barkov was overrated. Never said that.
Blackburn.
I just
Barkov
said-
overrated.
All I said was that they've had him for a long time and they haven't been able to win with him being like the guy. That's not saying he's
So you think he's a
overrated.
losing player?
McDavid, overrated. They haven't been able to win with him being the guy.
He can't be like the one guy that they have, I guess. Or
But-
you can't have so many players that are similar in type.
Can a team win with him on the roster?
God, now I'm like, I feel like I'm being gaslit.
No, like truly, like, do you think that a team, and I don't know what his role is, say he's like a 4th line center, which might be where he ends up by the end of the series. Do you think that a team could win the Stanley Cup with Sasha Barkov on the roster?
I think they could.
All right.
Good.
We'll see. You picked the Oilers to win the series, so I don't know. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It's the most fun and exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats for a shot to win up to 100x your cash. Sean and I were talking about yesterday, Pete. You know what Prize Picks is? It's a glass of wine with dinner. It's that accompany.
I would say it's more fun.
It just enhance wine.
Cup Finals.
Yeah,
And you're taking shots tequila, you're kind of a crazy person.
that's true.
If
That's
you're
a good
there with a
point.
nice glass of wine, you're just having a good night.
That's
what
fair.
Prize Picks is.
You're kind of selling. me.
Yeah,
Good for
so
you.
that's kind of, it's just the perfect accompaniment. It's great to have there. And last night, as planned, as expected, I watched the NBA Finals with my father, and I was doing a little DFSing, accompanying it. Still had my eyes on the prize picks, watching the game, watching the whole thing. Tingus Pingus. I don't need to tell you.
Bing bong.
Speaking of wine,
Whoops.
Tingus Pingus. Just getting gone off the Pingus. What did you drop?
It's my my cup. I don't have long arms, so
Somebody told me, I was talking to somebody with a successful podcast, and they were saying that they went to a subscriber-only model, and that they said you lose, let's say, 90% of your audience when you do it, but the 10% is so loyal that it makes it financially feasible, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. He said, and what you can give them is episodes without ads, which is something that they want.
it's not.
And I
something
was
we
like,
want.
our listeners do not want commercial episodes without ads.
Yeah, I mean,
One of the few compliments this show
Arguably-
gets is like,
yeah, arguably
your
the best part of the
conversations
show.
during ad reads are fucking great.
I was gonna say if you're just good at with the ad reads, then it just becomes part of the show.
That's right.
That's right. So I didn't 10x, I'll say. The Celtics did, though, and that's all that matters to me. I'm going to keep going, though. I'm going to try. What's that?
I was gonna say you can 10x on cricket. I don't know if you saw.
Shout out to the
U.S.
Americans.
cricket is up.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, they beat Pakistan in the T20 World Cup, which is a huge Pakistan is basically like
I always feel kind of bad when
German
shit like that
soccer.
happens. Like nobody in America really cares that much about cricket, and like Pakistan fucking loves cricket.
Yeah.
We must have just like ruined
I mean,
a lot of people's.
yeah, there's definitely more
experience.
people that care. Obviously, the people.
Not that I bet most of them hated Americans anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's probably fair. But the people that care about cricket fucking care about cricket, and a lot of if you look at the team, a lot of them are either immigrants themselves or like the children of immigrants. So it's a very big deal for them because they know how big of a deal Pakistan is.
Well, whether it's Tatum, Caitlin Clark, she hasn't been in the news in a couple of days. Did they just stop hitting her?
Apparently, I don't know.
Damn.
Pat McAfee effect.
Yeah, Pat McAfee changed the world.
Yeah. Pat McAfee.
Everybody was doing terrible
changed the
stuff
course
to her.
of women's basketball.
And then Pat McAfee said the words white bitch and everything smoothed over.
I saw a skit that somebody was talking about the WNBA and they started it by being like, that white, and they're like, whoa, you're not Pat McAfee. You're not the golden boy. You don't got that kind of leeway. And I was like, yeah, that's true.
It's kind of, I mean, but First Take has the same sort of thing where like the way that Stephen A talks to Molly sometimes, I'm like, if this were on any other show, we'd be like, what? How is this happening? Stephen A this morning said he was like, he had a point to make. Oh, you want to say that the Lakers hiring Dan Hurley is about the Lakers and it's not about LeBron. This is a long-term thing. He's a great coach and they want great. It's not just that like LeBron wants him for 5 minutes and they can do away with it. And he was like, now here's the thing. If I say it, no one's going to listen. But when Molly says things, when Molly looks into the camera, oh, they'll look back at Molly. Molly, can you look into the camera and explain to these fine people why Dan Hurley to the Lakers is such a good fit? And Molly's like, brother, I'm a UConn fan. I don't want this to happen. I'm not going to do this. And he's like, no. But Molly's pretty. And I'm like, just Stephen, just relax.
It's sort of like the Charles Barkley thing where like if you get away and make it part of your personality and part of your appeal that like you're fucking stupid or you're fucking weird in like a sense, you can almost get away with anything because it's just part of your brand.
On Get Up this morning, but this is still a Prize Fix read, by the way. On Get Up this morning, they were like, they went to Perk for something about the game, and Perk was like, let me tell you something. I'm home. I went to a Red Sox game. I saw all my Boston people. I'm staying at the Encore Casino. I'm playing Omaha poker whenever I want. I don't pay for a meal in this town. I'm eating whenever I want, wherever I want. I don't call it meals. I call it groceries. I'm just going around and I'm getting my groceries. And they were like, again, what adjustments can the Mavericks make in game 2? I love ESPN and their cast of characters. So download the app today and use code WhatChaos for our first deposit match up to $100. That's code WhatChaos for our first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Yeah, I was going to rewind it and just like take a video of it and send it to you boys.
That's amazing. I love it. Today's episode on a Friday, as always, brought to you by Bauer Hockey. Our friend Sean, can you punch in on me real quick? Check out this Bauer shirt with Travis Matthew. I know people love Travis Matthew, but I love Bauer, and both of these are incredible.
Are we? Is that an HW Plainview, or are those, as the kids say, gang signs?
I don't think the shirt is thrown up.
What's the shocker?
Shaka.
This is
not shocker.
Oh, yeah.
Shaka.
Shaka. Very
Shaka
different
Khan.
from the shocker.
I was gonna say that is to my knowledge not the shocker.
Our friends at Bauer make incredible clothing, also incredible hockey equipment. So if you're looking for new ways to dominate on the ice or off the ice with your fashion looks, Bauer's here to give you an assist. You can head to Bauer.com and find the training needs. You can get the Elite Skater reactor tools. Let me see. It's got the
dangler?
What's it called?
The digital reactor
dangler, and then you got the slide board that helps you add power to your strides. So head to Bauer.com/training to explore the full range of training gear, and you can also get free shipping with the code FreeShipWC. So head to Bauer.com or visit a local Bauer retailer to get started today. Again, that's Bauer.com/training and free shipping using code FreeShipWC.
Gang signs out the window, you bish. The shocker out the window.
Nice.
They make an interference one of those too. But
We had kids were getting suspended left and right when I was in high school for throwing up the shocker.
Throw up the I thought you were gonna say for
Get
like
suspended for
signs.
that?
Yeah, well, like they were throwing them out, like sneaking them in yearbook pictures. And so then the yearbook would get printed.
It's
and
bad
it'd be a
behavior,
kid
but you
with
shouldn't
a-
get suspended for that.
Or maybe not suspended, detention.
All right,
Yeah, it's
detention's
just
okay.
like it's fucking stupid behavior.
I mean, it's just
It-
Like
but,
you want
like,
to talk
you're
about
in
like
high
the
school.
shocker, do it on a podcast. Do it on a hockey podcast.
This was
but-
an all boys high school in
Yeah.
2015, 2016.
If we're getting into stupid behavior for high school boys, that's very low down the
make
list.
that they become valedictorian automatically if that is the worst thing that they're
Well,
doing.
we were private Catholic high schools. They were very concerned about our image. They're very concerned about our
No
public
matter
appearance.
what high school you are, no matter where you are, high school boys, horrible behavior 90% of the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Jesse Larkin says 2 in the goat's milk and 1 in the oil.
Oh my god.
I don't think that's how it works, but who knows? We have an update on uniforms,
Oh yeah,
which is great.
this is
both-
It's incredible that we've gone this deep into the playoffs without like uniform change discourse.
I know we've got the Ducks and the Kings throwing it back to when, I don't know, the 90s. And we were talking before we went on the podcast, a lot of America's verbiage is now borrowing from the 90s, which
Oh,
is
yeah,
not
true.
great. A lot of bad words coming back.
Mhm.
That I think we're voting 3-0 or 3-0 against on some of these words.
Certain
coming
Should have
back.
known
yeah.
it was coming when like dope started becoming back.
Yeah.
Into it was just a matter
Jalen
of
said dope the other day,
Dope
and I
never
knew.
left.
I feel like it left during like
It took a break.
Not for me.
Dope was with
I've been
like
using
fresh, where it's like not dead, it's dormant, but
I've
it,
been using
it can
dope.
pop up a little bit. You've been using dope?
Yeah, I never stopped.
Nice.
Back,
But-
like I feel like I started picking it back up in like high school.
Okay. Yeah,
I feel
mean,
like the
so
2000s.
you were talking about like the pendulum swing of
Yes.
like of culture, and yeah, for a while everybody was afraid to say anything, and now it seems like we're getting closer to people not being afraid to say anything.
Yeah.
And I guess I would rather be closer to this end of the pendulum because people expose and reveal themselves.
It just depends. As long as people are getting consequences for being dumb, then yeah. Like I'd rather know what people are about
Yeah.
than have everyone pretend that everything's okay.
I'd rather
The
there be
easiest-
the freedom of speech.
I mean,
Elon
again,
voice
As long as there are
versus-
consequences for that
Correct,
speech.
yeah.
The easiest like shift in my life I've ever made to be less generally confused is just align yourself with niceness. Just like try to be nice yourself and hope that and expect kindness out of other people. So like if you're gonna say dumb shit or whatever, like make it dumb. Don't make it not nice. You know?
Yeah.
You want to be a goofball? Be a fucking goofball. There's a difference between being a goofball and like
Where I'll disagree is that if somebody is not nice, you don't have to be nice to them.
it's the Brad Marchand thing.
Aye.
If someone's being an ass, if don't be an asshole if you're not gonna.
I was an
expect
asshole.
stuff back.
Early mid-20s was an asshole to probably a lot of people that would be considered piling on,
Yeah.
or like a little unfair. And I still got that asshole in me, but I reserve it for people that I think don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. or
But I
don't
remember we
deserve
were
me being
friends
nice
and
to.
like podcasting together when we arrived at the like, hey, quote tweeting doesn't seem like a good thing to do, and like both of us mostly, or at least I still do it from time to time, but like
not like a malicious quote tweet. Yeah.
scaled way back. But when quote tweeting first came out, everyone was like, oh, perfect.
Quote tweet dunks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I can just dunk on people.
Yeah.
And that's not. I mean, Sean dunked on Drake the other day. Said, "Keep it
Yeah,
up."
but I mean it's Drake.
It's
And
Drake.
I also feel like I get to dunk on Drake because I defend him more than most people. As you know, my whole opinion on basically everything is just do whatever you want, but don't complain when there's consequences. If you want to get,
I love Sean's
You're
energy.
so American.
Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
like,
But-
but
Most American
it's.
person.
I
I've
mean,
ever
it's
met in my
that
life.
is like that was like my thing with getting back to There Will Be Blood. Like when the guy, spoiler alert, pretended to be
Mhm.
Daniel Plainview's brother. I was like, did he deserve to die? No, but it's a fuck around and find out type of thing.
Yeah.
Like
Play stupid games. win
don't
stupid
if you're
prizes.
gonna do something that is clearly crossing a line, is going to like destabilize somebody mentally, you don't know how someone is going to behave when they're mentally unstable. So it is a fuck around and find out.
Oh, that is the because he doesn't know Daniel. He's never met him before.
Yeah, and you're just
Doesn't
gonna
know
show
what
up
he's
and be like,
about.
pretend to be his brother and take his money. If you do something like that, there's a decent chance that person might want to fucking kill you.
Right, and that there's a reason why if I'm driving, I don't yell out the window like "you asshole" to somebody. Granted, I don't yell "you asshole" to really anybody. I did it to Eric Gagne when I was a kid, and I felt so bad about it at a baseball game. It was the worst.
Yeah, I one time.
But like the reason I don't, in addition to the fact that I don't call people assholes, is that like if I don't know Pete and I drive past him, I would never in a million years yell "you asshole" because I don't know. It's America. He might have a gun. He might have fucking whatever.
I did that to Colby Rasmus in the outfield at the Red Sox game one time, and he to the point where he turned around and told me to suck his dick.
Okay,
But
so that's awesome. Great behavior on his part.
which was amazing.
I support Kyrie so much in the like suck my dick thing at Boston fans. It's the perfect behavior.
To your point, like I knew that Colby Rasmus did not have a gun in his baseball pants.
Oh,
I will say my behavior when I lived in Arizona was different than it was here. Arizona was just like, I'm not talking to anybody because
then you're perfect for Boston.
The first time I ever went to Arizona, I actually completely forgot about this story until right now. The first time I ever went to Arizona, I was with a friend of mine. We got in an Uber, and he just started telling us the story about how his son pulled a gun on a guy at Denny's because they were there, and some guy was being an asshole to him, and his son just took out a gun, put it on the thing. It's like, do we have a problem?
I'll be honest. I don't think I've seen a gun in the wild in Massachusetts, like outside of a police officer.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in New York, and it was very, very rare. But Arizona, different.
I went to the comedy show of the great Jack Tucker, and there's a lot of like gun stuff during his show, which surprises me so much. There's like a lot of gunshots and everything. And I saw him on a podcast with David Cross, and he was saying that when he first started doing the character, he had a fake gun, and he does have a fake gun, but it's orange and it's sticking out of his pants, but it's orange, and you can tell that it's a fake gun. But he said like it was tough because initially part of the character was like, this is this absolute hack of a comedian who's doing a terrible job, but there's also a gun visible.
You ever seen The Joker?
To be like, you better laugh. Hey, right? So like that's like, that sort of thing. Like I was very surprised that, but it all kind of fit into his old unhinged thing.
So my big thing when I road rage is thumbs up. I'm a big like, you're an asshole. Fucking good job, guy.
Thumbs up is a good.
Less likely to get you killed than the middle finger.
Exactly.
So probably a smart
huge,
decision.
just like a lot of like, okay, just.
Also,
good job.
Incredible job by us to start off a conversation in a segment about jerseys in the 90s. Yeah. Woke culture. There will be blood and guns.
Do you remember how scary it was? To continue it, Pete and I were in Chicago. We were taking an Uber. The guy got road rage with somebody else. Person slammed in front of them, pulled down the window, yelled, "What's your problem, you effing hard R?" This driver was Middle Eastern.
Yeah, hard R.
Our driver
starting
was
with the N word, not the R word.
Yes.
No, hard R is the right. There's some confusion.
Now you have to specify. Getting back to where we are.
Which I mean, like people say shit about like Boston, blah blah, and there's this like idea that like Boston is people running around like using hate speech like that, and in reality, like you get your ass kicked if you do anything like that. Like that was the first time, and maybe I'm coming from a massive place of privilege / being in a bubble where like in public, I heard somebody say that word to another person maliciously. It was the scariest fucking moment.
And like hucked a loogie on the car.
Yes, spit on the car.
That's crazy.
We were in a bad part of town too, so we couldn't be like, let us out. It was
DJ.
We were like, we are not in our bubble
DJ was
anymore.
Pleading.
Yeah, I was like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Because they kept going back and forth, and I was like, excuse me, please, you gotta. And then the guy fucking calls him hard R, and I'm like, I'm not gonna tell a person how to react to being called the worst word in the world, even when
they aren't black.
They aren't black.
So that is that's a like borderline hilarious move now removed from the situation. I
was terrified.
I mean, it's just I like that we are as a point in society where I feel like generally speaking, people are like, if you call a black person the N-word, you might die, and we're not going to do anything about that. Like if they kill you, there will be a trial, but there's a good chance they're walking away.
one of my favorite videos is, have you seen the convenience store video of the dude who calls another dude the N-word and then gets slapped with the tall boy?
So I don't know if I've seen that one.
Tall boy of like iced tea or something, and he gets absolutely whacked.
Those are my favorite
videos. Like gets knocked unconscious and falls so hard back into like one of those stands of chips.
I love
it's an incredible.
I just know
the top of the tall boy getting smashed off this guy's head and like opening up and spraying everywhere. An incredible video.
My favorite is when like I've seen videos where like a kid, like a dad will be upset because his kid has a black friend or something like that, and then the kid knocks his dad out, and I'm like, fucking right, dude.
That's
Let's
cool.
Go.
How about what about the Dallas Stars fan?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's
another
like a
classic video.
Chat's throwing around a lot of walloped with the tall boy video.
Oh,
that's
walloped.
That's another walloped. The Dallas Stars fan with the mullet.
Oh yeah,
mama, he got cooked.
And I believe that was in my recollection. It's a white man
N-word.
who like hears but it's a white man who hears that shit going on at a sporting event and just fucking socks the guy.
Really?
I believe, right? I think
you could be right. I don't know.
I think the I hate to say like the quote unquote aggressor, when we all know the aggressor is the kid, but the person who throws the punch is like, order in my fucking court.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh man, Twisted Tea. It was a tall boy of Twisted Tea.
Oh, it was in B Sunny's hometown.
No way.
Elyria, Ohio.
That's amazing.
Whoa.
Love that.
So there's New Jerseys, right?
The Ducks are expected to go to a modernized version of the Mighty Ducks logo in orange, black, and gold. And I don't know why. I am 100% on board with this, knowing that it's not going to be the best uniform they've ever had. This will be an era of Ducks jerseys similar to like the Navy jerseys that the Oilers had, where it's like, not like these Navy ones, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When they
had
had
Navy and copper.
Yeah, where it's like, they're not the best, but like they feel like something that would exist, and it's not the worst thing in the world. I'll take it. I'll take anything that isn't the fucking webbed D.
100% agree with that. And one of our pals and a trusted Ducks fan, Mike Hammer of Violent Gentlemen, said that he's laid eyes upon these jerseys and that they are awesome.
Now,
I think that's the word.
Do we think
and I trust him?
Will the uniforms be black? Do we think?
That's what I want.
No, I'm gonna guess orange.
I mean, I would take orange, but so it would be orange with an orange logo though. You'd need to have you're a Photoshop boy. There need to be a thick stroke on there if you're going to do an orange on orange.
I don't like this move.
Don't be thick in front of me.
I would rather their current logo with old colors than the other way around.
No, I disagree.
The orange
Web D sucks so much.
Web D is not that bad of a logo in my opinion.
It's not good.
It's just the colors are terrible. It's bad because it's sand. It's awful. The sand is the worst part.
Has ever wanted the sand?
No, at all.
The Mighty Ducks logo, though, is one of the best logos in sports, and I agree it's much better with the old color scheme. But you're capable of doing a whole lot more with cool merch with that logo in a different color scheme than you are in their current logo with a different color scheme.
The one thing I'll say is I saw some Ducks fans on Twitter shooting this idea around, like kind of doing a Sabres type of deal where you do your orange for your orange and sand for your home and away, and then you have, especially because you're bringing back the Duck, you just have a purple and teal third jersey,
right? Which
I'd be fine by that, especially because the Sabres wear their red and black so often that like you get a good chunk of it. I just like the whole thing. Like no one was begging for the logo to change. They wanted the old. I mean, in general, they wanted the old brand. So I guess they were begging for all of it. But
that's not true at all. People hated the logo. I think there's more outrage about the logo than there is about the color scheme, and that was shown when they brought back the Mighty Duck with like the alternates, the orange alternates. People celebrated that. Yeah,
but they also celebrated the purples from this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, both are great and both are beloved. Yeah. But I would say the call was put out more to change the logo than the color scheme.
I just hate the sand so much.
Yeah, no one wants the sand. Get it out of here.
So it sounds like they're maybe doing away with the sand because it sounds like, according to Aesthetics, their revamped color scheme is going to be gold, black, and orange. But orange, black, and gold. Which if the gold is
just what they are
sand,
now,
maybe that's different. But if it's actual gold, Like, that's going to be awesome.
Yes, gold I will take over sand for sure.
We'll see. It's just the gold and the orange are just not.
Yeah,
They don't
You
work
need
well
something
together.
breaking it up. The Kings has a modernized version. This is according to Aesthetics of the Gretzky era's logo in black and silver with a new crown design inside. So that's interesting. It's the classic Kings thing, and then just maybe a little swooped up. I'll take that as well. Although it's not going to happen. Like I like when the Kings get into their like late 90s, early 2000s
Purple
Roman
gold.
Czechmanic era, little splash of that purple.
I
No.
loved their reverse retros were some of my favorite in the entire league. I loved the purple and gold. I love that look.
I do
Yeah,
think the
same
more
here.
grown up thing though is to like do the black, silver,
their brand
white.
now is also very good to me. Like with
Yeah,
the
I
chevron and stuff
agree.
like that.
So
I'm
it seems
not
like
upset about
they're
it.
gonna have like my guess is it's just gonna look like their current jersey, but instead of the taller logo, they're gonna do the wider one. Like instead of
Well,
like
it's
the
gonna be-
like the LA Shield thing, it's gonna be this one.
Yeah,
It's
well, the
the-
jersey's going to change pretty significantly as well. Like, it's not going to be the same jersey design. It's going to be that older one. I mean, we've seen them wear the chevron logo
Yeah.
as the white alternates with the chrome buckets. I just want to see that be their full-time look.
Yeah, I would
And
love that. And
I
then
love the chrome buckets. I
Same.
know that they're pretty divisive and not everybody loves them.
they're a
but
little loud, but if they did that,
I think it's a very cool and unique calling card for a team. And if you're talking about black and silver and black and gold, or black and white, that's kind of boring, or at least a little less unique than the purple and gold or the foreign blue and gold. I think that having the chrome be a consistent part of that look would be a very cool calling card for the Kings.
with the blacks as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TBD.
Because I was gonna say if they just went full like chrome buckets for the whites, matte black for the blacks. and
Oh
just
yeah, I like that a lot.
abandon a glossy helmet, I could get behind that.
Let's get to Bauer rankings because it is a Bauer Friday. We're just gonna discuss what we got stocks up and down on. I have some heavy stocks down on the shipping of. I think it's Fanatics, I guess, would be their problem.
Can the stocks get lower?
I mean, hold on. As
The
I
shipping.
say this, I'm going to look something up and speak at the same time. On June 3rd, I ordered a T-shirt. What does the
Yeah.
T-shirt say? Doesn't matter.
Bad
It's
T-shirt.
not relevant to this car. Wait, do you know what the T-shirt is?
Yeah, it's the Western Conference Champs T-shirt.
It's exactly what I ordered.
It's a bad behavior.
I ordered it, and I did it with 2-day shipping. I spent an extra $20
Oh my
to get
god!
I just wanted it. I want it now, Daddy. I wanted it now, and because
First of all, well, I guess I'll let you go because I think this is probably going to feed into
Sean,
your
do you
bigger
want to throw
point.
the shirt up just so people know what I'm
Do I
talking
have
about? Sorry.
Do I have it?
In the
I can throw it. Let's see. There it is. I just want it. Okay. So that's, I guess, the explanation behind my ordering that shirt is that I wanted it. And the Oilers are Western Conference champions. Very excited about it. I ordered it on June 3rd, and I made sure it said, because with some of these things, it says this is a specialty item or this is a pre-order item. It will ship on whatever date. This did not have that. This said it was good to go. It was primed.
Mhm.
It was Sabrina Carpenter in the nonsense outro, if you will.
Go ahead.
She's always talking about how horny she is.
Of
and,
course she
like,
is.
Raring to go
Mhm.
in the nonsense outro. It's never as funny as everybody thinks it is. But 2-day shipping on Monday. On the 4th, it says it has shipped and will arrive on June 6th. That's yesterday. Today is June 7th. And as of last night, it was in Ohio. And today, it has been updated to an estimated arrival of June 10th.
Unfortunately, it got walloped by a Twisted Tea can in Ohio. So
Possibly.
Tragic.
At
got knocked out.
at what point do I get? So Petey texted me, and I texted the shirt to Petey accidentally.
Oh, I
There
was
you
like,
go. At what point do I get my money back?
yeah.
Do they refund shipping?
I was
when
gonna
it
say
takes a
I
long
don't really
time?
know what the
Well-
because it's never like it's not like a guarantee. it's like an estimated.
Yeah, but
type of
here's
thing, but
here's the point that I was going to make earlier before I let you finish your point. Like, if you're ordering a Western Conference Champs shirt or like one of those shirts,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to pay the extra for 2-day shipping because there is such a limited window on that shirt
Exactly.
being wearable and being good behavior.
Well,
You know when I was
And
planning on wearing the shirt?
it's never really good behavior. But if you're wearing that in like the next day or 2 days later, then
Wednesday was my
Okay.
plan. Wednesday or today.
yeah.
Yesterday I was going to wear Celtic stuff. Yeah, I plan these outfits are carefully curated. I was going to wear this Wednesday or today. And now I said this to Sean, there's a possibility that I'm going to get this shirt when the Oilers are already losing in the Stanley Cup Final. That's going to feel so fucking bad opening that shirt.
Yeah, oh yeah. 100%.
Fuck you, Fanatics.
And like you at least have to get a refund on 2-day shipping, I think.
They fucked
I
me.
think you
Yeah, I
have
really
to.
don't know what like the.
But if
recourse is there.
if you're paying for 2-day shipping,
I agree.
like there's an estimation in normal
Yeah.
shipping world, but if you're paying for 2-day shipping, that's not an estimation. That is what you are paying for.
Yeah, trust me, I agree with you. I think there should be. I'm just from like what your course of action is going to be. I don't know.
Do I have recourse? Anybody,
I don't
any
know.
legal
Dan-
legals?
Dan says, is it bad behavior if the Oilers win the cup? Yes, because then you have a dated
Oh
championship
no,
shirt.
that's a fucking cool shirt if the Oilers win the cup.
No, because it is like
Well, it's just
it is
like,
not the most that they accomplished.
But it shows
Yeah.
that you're ahead.
I
Or-
mean, it shows that you're behind.
or
No, I meant it shows that you are a head, meaning like a
Oh.
stan, or not a
Yeah.
stan. Stan's bad, but like,
but you could have
like
bought
you're
that
a real
shirt.
one.
You could have
Stan's not
bought
bad.
that shirt post Stanley Cup because then it would be
That's bad behavior.
like
Stolen
a frugal
valor.
fanny.
Stolen.
Yeah.
Then you are masquerading as a head. I famously am an oil man.
I mean, it just kind of like it's. I don't want to say it's loser behavior, but it's just like that's only something you do if you don't have anything better.
I
No.
will say
You
that-
don't. When your team loses the cup, you don't say like, "Oh, well, at least we won this," and you get it. That is loser behavior.
Yeah.
Well, no, you don't
This
get it
is-
afterwards, but
At least I will say that Western Conference champ shirt is a significantly better design than the hats that we
Yes.
saw
Stanley
that
Cup
came up
matchup
with the
hats.
Stanley Cup Final, like both teams. I hope they have fun hat.
They're so bad.
Sean, I just sent that to you. Can you throw that up as well? Because it is a horrible, horrible design for these hats. And I'm not going to get like too worked up over it because I don't know who buys these hats.
I mean, I'm buying one in Edmonton.
No, you're not.
I'm buying you
Come
one in
on.
Edmonton.
this is
Do not waste your money on that hat.
I'm
please.
buying you one in Edmonton, and after I'm going to
No,
use the same lawyer I
please
used
buy
to
me
sue
something
Fanatics
cool.
to say, how do I force Pete to reimburse me for this hat? How do I make him pay for this hat? I'm going to make you buy that hat.
This
That
is
hat
a-
is so bad. My favorite part about it, though, is someone tweeted out, like, this is the worst hat. Who designed this? Do they even have designers? This is horrible. Somebody else responded, I made a better one in 2 seconds in Photoshop, and the one they made was worse. So then the entire thread was people just cooking this second person. Great behavior.
It's truly incredible how bad and lazy some of Fanatics designs are because you can go on the website and you can laugh at a bunch of their items and stuff like that. And they're a fast fashion company. I get it. And they're making a bunch of money on that. And I can kind of excuse the laziness of a lot of stuff that just ends up on the website, but the locker room stuff and some of the on bench hats that you see the backup goaltenders wearing and stuff, those designs are lazy and uninspiring and look extremely cheap. That's the stuff that they want you to see,
Someone noted there's not even a Cup Final logo on there.
which
Yeah,
is
there
the
might be
Cup
on the
Final
left here.
logo.
There's something else on the left side you can kind of see.
The
on
new Cup Final logos that have been debuted over the last few years are very cool and very clean.
Clean.
Like the Stanley Cup.
Inoffensive, endearing.
Yeah, I would say that the cup patches are awesome, endearing. Like I think that those look great.
I like them on the back of the helmets throughout the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that. I think they're nice.
So those are available for $25 US. Thank you for the super chat from Michael Curtis. Conference Champions merch is for Buffalo fans.
Not a thank you.
Derogatory. That was
Not a
derogatory.
thank you from me.
Do you want to call us a slur? We're trying to be happy.
But it's funny he says that because it is also very true. Like, to me, the times when you buy stuff like that is like Bills won the AFC Championship, or like won the AFC Championship or AFC East for the first time in 20 years. Get a shirt.
It's big. Like, never know when this is going to happen.
They
again.
broke the drought.
Yeah.
Get a playoff shirt.
Yeah.
But now, if you're buying a 2024 Bills AFC East champion T-shirt, crazy behavior.
That's
right.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially around New England, people were always like, "You're going to buy like for hat and T-shirt games, people would never actually buy the hat and T-shirt.
Yeah,
They were like ridiculous.
Yeah,
Why would I do that?
There's obviously a window in which that is kind of acceptable, and I would say for the Oilers, even though this is the first Cup final they've made in like almost 20 years. It's still a little unacceptable because it's kind of overdue for them to be there.
But you also have a full week. So I thought I was getting it this week. I thought that I had a week to wear it. That's like 4 wears. I was going to crush it. It's going to be distressed by the time game 1 rolled around. Broken in. People in Edmonton, they can just probably go to CVS and buy it. It's probably right there.
Yeah.
CVS, the C stands for Canada up there. And they'd be able to get it, wear whatever they want. We know that I'm going to fuck up a Pro Shop Wars in Edmonton. The patches, at least on like you can buy the patches, the Stanley Cup patches from the NHL website for like $25. Throw it on a jersey. What is better behavior? Adding a patch to an existing jersey. Like we have blank Oilers jerseys. We could theoretically just get those patches, toss them on there, have a professional toss them on there, I should say.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm going to spend the $300 and buy a fucking clean-ass new...
I mean, if you're there, you may as well, especially as an oil man. Like, you can have a wide collection and a wide array
but
of
you think,
Oilers
it
jerseys.
sounds like you think that you should just get the patch and throw it on.
Like me, I think I'm going to buy... I want you to buy me one of those patches. I will put it on my Oilers jersey. And because I bought that Oilers jersey in the middle of an Oilers Stanley Cup run.
Yep, you're allowed.
Like, I kind of want to commemorate the moment in time in which it was purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So I want the patch and I want to throw it on and I want to like, I don't know. I'm undecided as to who I'm going to put on it, but I want to have it done up.
I feel like
Cody Ceci.
I like the idea of adding the patch as opposed to buying a new jersey because it's like it's not like they're getting new jersey. The Oilers are getting new jerseys. They're adding patches to the jersey.
Those jerseys have been sitting there for weeks before the patches existed.
Patches to them.
Yeah,
and it's big. I built my PC versus I bought a pre-built. Energy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
yes.
I think that I might use it as an opportunity to get a white Oilers jersey though.
Yeah, you should.
Like if I got like a white dry
you would have every jersey. You got the navy, you got the Heritage Classic, you got the classic blue. If you got the white, you can round out the collection and have a full locker of Oilers jerseys, like current Oilers jerseys.
Yeah.
You know what would be extremely confusing behavior would be to get the Stanley Cup patch and put it on the Heritage Classic jersey.
That'd be so bad.
Against the law behavior.
Especially because when you look at where the C is on it, like the patch would end up having to go over like that line to be equal with it, and that would just be bad.
What were you saying, Sean? You said you wanted what?
I want them to bring back maybe modernize. I just have always loved the Navy Meteor jersey.
Oh,
like that Meteor oil drop logo. I love it.
Yeah,
it's crazy that was their jersey at one point.
I mean, yeah, it shouldn't be a main
jersey. It's cool, but
it was always an alternate jersey.
Yeah. Okay, so that was never. I don't think
it was.
It was always an alternate. Yeah.
But like if they brought that back with the current,
they brought
colors,
it back. They brought it back with. They did for the reverse retro.
That was a reverse retro.
They had a reverse retro of their
Meteor. First reverse retro. Because last year wasn't
their first reverse retro. I think was the white one with the orange pants.
Oh.
And then I think I think last year they had the navy and orange with the Meteor.
Really? That was last year?
Yeah, I believe
so.
Oh,
yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
fantastic. So stonks down on whoever the fuck is responsible for getting me my Western Conference jersey. Although now I think that's going to end up being a clip, at least for Twitter, just like conference jersey champs jerseys or conference champion t-shirts.
I will say
bad.
For my stonks down, I'm going to say stonks down on the Utah branding because I'm not a big fan of the finalist names. They do have Mammoth and Yeti, which were 2 that I was okay with, but it was also revealed yesterday from, I believe, Dave Pagnotta the fourth period.
Patagonia.
Yes, Patagonia.
Yep. I'm an LL Bean guy myself.
He said that he's hearing that the Utah jerseys, which will say Utah on the front for their inaugural season, are going to be black. They're going to be using black jerseys.
Oh, yeah, and you were very against. You said you did not want,
That was the one thing that I did not want them to do. Not go with the baby blue. Make the baby blue the primary color and the overall aesthetic of that team. Use blue black jerseys as an accent. And baby blue. It sounds like they're gonna have a black jersey, another fucking black jersey in the NHL. I hate it.
Baby blue jerseys all the time though yields a lot of kit clashes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
true.
It's like, too bright a color.
Not if you use the accent. Not if you use the accent well though.
Yeah,
I think you need you gotta have 3 jerseys: a black, a white, and a powder blue.
They're not going to do 3 for.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to get at. Is just like I'm not going to hold anything that happens to his first season against this organization just because it's explicitly temporary. And again, I think anything that you do with color starts tying a hand behind your back.
It's explicitly temporary, but it's also your first look. Like,
yeah,
but it's like a storybook year.
Well, I mean, that's why you don't rush. Moving
you don't shoot your wad now.
Well, no, but I'm saying that's why you don't rush moving an organization in 3 months. Like, if this was normal, they would have branding and we wouldn't have any of the situation.
But even still, like, it's easy to make one decision on a jersey that is more palatable than another option. Just baby blue is just
too
black.
Light, so it ends up being more of a white jersey, like a light jersey, than a dark jersey. And so you can't have a powder blue and a white jersey because then you're not going to have.
No, I'm not saying it has to be powder blue and white alone. Like, use the black accents to darken it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends on how they do it. I don't know. I'm not trying to. I'm letting them go until they actually fuck up. I guess.
Let's do stonks on 36-year-old hockey players. Famously, the age 36 is popular today. Sean grabbed a list of players born in 1988, and I knew that there were going to be, like, I know Marchand and I, same age, Lucic and Bobrovsky born the exact same day as me, so happy birthday
as well
to those boys. Did not know that Mike Modano was a June 7th guy. I know that Allen Iverson's a June 7th boy. I know that Prince was a June 7th boy. He's not anymore. R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
He's not anything.
Forever and always.
He gone. No.
His birthday still the 7th.
Oh, no, he's dead.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
dead.
He was still born.
He gone. Bye, Prince. Love him, though. One that stands out to me, though, as we look at that list, Patches is on there, Pat Maroon. There's a lot of guys on that list that I've been like, that guy's so fucking old. Stop playing hockey. And then you look at your own mortality when you realize they're the same age. But this name stood out to you too, Sean. It's the man at the top of the list, Sergei Bobrovsky.
Wow. Yeah,
36 years old. Doesn't it give you a little bit of like, so they better win the cup?
What do you mean?
Like, how many more kicks is he going to have at this? I know his contract is.
I disagree.
He's signed for a long time, but like, how dominant is he going to be at 39?
I disagree. Like, goaltenders to me have longer lifespans. Like, if you've proven that you can get to your 36-year-old season and be good, like, I still have faith in you being good for another 4 years. Like, I just feel like 36 in general is a weird age for hockey players because a lot of guys don't end up getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do end up getting there, most of the time, you probably got a little bit of time left. I feel like there are very few players that get to 36 and then are gone.
2 more years after this on his contract.
Yeah, the thing I'll say is I think we have passed the best Sergei Bobrovsky, and I feel like
I don't think you can say that definitively. Like, look at Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury won Vezina, his first Vezina at age 39, 38, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just where we're talking about a guy who's won Vezinas already, though. Like, the chance that he is at any point gets better than the best he's been in his career.
Yeah, that's fair.
It seems low, and I feel like with goalies, the end can come fast.
Oh yeah.
So like, it could just knowing that we are over the hill to a certain extent with Bob. Again, obviously not bad by any means. Still one of the best goalies in hockey, but it just we could just show up one day and all of a sudden Bobrovsky's a bad goalie. And we're just
True,
like,
but it can go the other way as well. Like you can just show up one day as a goaltender and suddenly be reinvigorated. Like it's happened for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
You mentioned Jonathan Quick.
Yeah.
There was like Cam Talbot had his resurgency, like
Tim
when he was
Thomas.
basically out of the league.
Yeah.
Tim Thomas was a little different though because like it was
he just like took a while. He was just
took
like
a while to
fine.
get there. Yeah, we've seen a lot of goalies that are seemingly on the way out be able to kind of revitalize their career. That doesn't happen with skaters a lot.
Somebody said Michael Cera is a June 7th boy. Not only is Michael Cera a June 7th boy, he's a June 7th, 1988 boy. He's in the Milan Lucic, Matt Bolesky, Dave Bean Club. So happy 36th birthday to him. Somebody noted Liam Neeson. I did not know that. I also don't know if I claim him. He's had some, he's gone back and forth with having some like rough, maybe don't do interviews anymore, Liam.
Yeah,
moments.
I think it was the Cold Pursuit media tour.
Well, Cold Pursuit's the best movie ever, so everybody watch that movie.
The Cold Pursuit media tour was fucking wild. What a journey.
Cold Pursuit is such a good movie. Everybody watch Cold Pursuit. It's the millionth Taken movie he's done. Every fucking Liam Neeson movie is they did something to my kid. I'm getting revenge.
Yeah, it just depends on what method of transportation he wants to use.
Where is it?
There's a
How's he
train
doing
one.
it?
There's a snowplow one. There's an airplane one. There's a car one. There's all the different methods of transportation.
It's incredible. Somebody's talking about their mortality. They said they're turning 32 this month, and 32 is still early 30s, but 36 is old man territory. Honestly, 32 is when I felt like I was done and an old man, because I basically lost years, we all did, of our social life to the COVID. Thanks, Biden. And I'm sorry, thanks, Fauci. And then we all come out of it and we're like, I was this before and now I'm this, whatever. But I don't feel any older now than I did a few years ago. And I'll just say, when I was a younger person, I was very cautious to not look at certain ages of, oh no, now you're this and now you're that. Because, spoiler alert, unless we die, we fucking get there. And I would just say, don't worry about your mid-30s, your late 30s or whatever, because at some point you're going to be it and you're going to need to function as a human being.
And I think it's as you get older, you get, at least personally, like a little bit more comfortable in your own skin and a little bit more comfortable with like finding out things about yourself.
I was when I turned 30, I was on top of the world because I was like, who fucking cares?
I'll tell you right now, I'm about to turn 33 in 2 weeks, and that number is like unattractive to me, but I will take being 33 than being 23 or like 26 or whatever any day of the week, just because I'm way more comfortable in my own skin and way more comfortable like knowing and learning who I've been over like the last 10 years than being 23 and trying to figure things out.
Man. It's we don't need everybody to say how long until they turn 36, but we appreciate it. Very nice.
I'm gonna age
Everyone's
one of
being
two
like,
ways.
"Oh, gross."
I'm gonna age one of two ways: Gene Principe or Gran Torino. I like that.
I don't get the Gran Torino reference. Oh, I was thinking of Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
I was like, I've seen that movie.
I would definitely not understand that reference as well. If that's
I
what
love
I thought
to
he was
age into a
saying.
pro racer. Any interest in Oilers lines from practice?
Yes.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman. Line 2, Leon Draisaitl, centering, Evander Kane, and Holloway.
Oh,
Perry on line 3 with Fogle and McLeod. And then Jan-Mark Henrique Brown.
Okay, so...
And, more importantly,
Yep.
Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci.
Oh,
paired together.
Wow. I don't like that. That's not good.
It
behavior.
works.
That's Colm Bouchard, Nurse, Ceci, Broberg, Kulak.
I mean, we said never go back to it, don't do it. He went back to it, and it was good. Or it was serviceable.
So we'll see. Obviously,
They won the
just
series.
practice, not...
Yeah,
tomorrow,
no.
but still.
But is Broberg in the top 6?
Broberg, third pair with Kulak. And then they have Kemp, Diarnay as the fourth
I mean,
D pair.
wasn't
Okay, so I
Nurse
still-
was with Kulak?
When they first put Broberg in, it's all blurring together. Kulak was with Nurse in game 4, I think.
I don't remember the line. I know that like Nurse was good with Kulak.
But
And
Nurse
then-
and CC is generally a recipe for disaster. So that, if it's managed properly, maybe they can get away with. But I said earlier in the show, I'm cool with Corey Perry in the top 6 more than I was last round. Corey Perry, third line. It's not like I'm like they're going to be a worse team if they don't have Corey Perry in the top 6. Corey Perry is not a top 6 player. He's going to be playing a lot, though, against these feisty guys on the Panthers. And Evander Kane is that same sort of like sandpapery, don't fuck with me kind of guy. So I'll take it. I like it. I like the top 9 right now. I like that Dylan Holloway is remaining in the top 6, though, for sure.
I can't wrap my head around Nurse CC coming back.
I'd have to look at when they played together, because they did play together as that series went on. After
Game
we'd said never
7,
again.
it looks like was
Game 6.
no Game 7 or Game 6 looks like it was Nurse was with Kulak, Boberg was with CC, according to Bob.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
and they just would, so I feel good about the Oilers lineup. I feel good about the Oilers in the series. Do we have any more? Speaking of goalies, we were talking about Sergei Bobrovsky, 1,000 years old. Here's a video of the players arriving in Florida. That's Stuart Skinner. And
God,
if
so
our
hot.
guy is not fucking, just loop it, Sean. If he is not serving,
He looks so hot.
he looks amazing. And in the
He has-
background,
He looks so much older than he is, but endearing.
that's a 25-year-old
Yeah,
man.
like
he looks
not
like a
in the
grown man.
not in the
That's Sean. Like
not
that
in the
guy's
Evan
your age.
Bouchard way.
Yeah, that you like. I don't know. I feel like, to me, getting slightly back to the age conversation, I'm gonna feel way worse when I'm gonna feel better when I'm older, because right now I am having to reckon with the fact that like all of these people that are important are the exact same age as me, and I'm not nearly that. Like once I'm older, it's fine. Those are kids, whatever.
Mhm.
But right now I'm like
That
26-year-old's about to win this fucking
Evan
Stanley Cup.
Bouchard is the fearing looking older kind of vibe, and Stu Skinner is like the damn, I wish I looked older kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Because Stu Skinner looks so good, has incredible facial hair, and just like the style that he has, like that video looked like it could have came out of Almost Famous.
I mean, wearing a printed shirt when you have a belly is just the boss move of all boss moves, because it's going to accentuate whatever you've got on your chest. And I want even more of it.
Absolute rock.
I want
star.
even more of it.
You said that he looked like Father John Misty in that video.
Right? Doesn't
and
he?
looks exactly like Father John Misty.
Look at, I mean,
oh my God. Hot.
Fantastic. The chat says he is mothering. The chat noted he had slut strands going.
Yep.
Terrific behavior.
I love slut strands.
Yeah. I haven't had long hair in forever, so I can't really.
I don't know what a slut
Doing
strand
it.
is.
Slut
It's the
strands
little,
are
the little thing that
means
drops
you're-
down.
It means you're totally good to go.
Mm.
You're just
And-
like fucking ready.
My hair is a little bit too like stiff
Yeah, we don't have
to
those.
drop down like that.
We
We don't have those on this side.
Did I just get? You said we
I meant
after
No,
I said that I
we.
can't do it. Did I just get, did I
line
get
right
anointed?
here. We versus y'all.
Fair enough. Good
Naturally,
clarification. I would have walked out of here with a completely different mindset.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say, apparently, getting back to the conversation we had earlier, it doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want now.
no,
You can't, but you kind of can.
Dangerous game to play. Yes, congratulations to Stuart Skinner for looking so hot.
So stocks up for him, and I mean, Conn Smythe favorite. Who's to say? All right, boys. I don't think we have anything else to do except stream for a long time. Do we have any more super chats?
No super chat.
Do we have a slate grade?
We do have slave grade. Oh, we do have a super chat.
Oh, boy.
Happy birthday and happy Ween Day to DJ Ween and all those who celebrate. Yes, that's right. First official release in over 15 years. Stonks up, hail Boognish, go oil. That is everything I want to hear. Did you boys know? I believe it's for the 30th anniversary. Let me know if I'm right or wrong, Carter, of the classic. It would have to be 30th anniversary, right? Of the Ween album Chocolate and Cheese, which is just fantastic. They're reissuing it. They're remastering it. There's a new vinyl release, and they're putting out another song from the recordings of it that I listened to last night. I think it was called Junkie Boy, and it was amazing because everything Ween does is so good. So everybody listen to Ween. Watch There Will Be Blood. Be good to each other. Do you want
if we're talking about like the return of musical groups and things like that, I want to give a shout out and stonks up in our Bauer Rankings to Sturgill Simpson.
Oh, what's he up to?
Heading on tour for the first time in a while, I think 4 years, and is releasing a new album and kind of unveiling like an alter ego type deal with the name Johnny Blue Skies. So
I did hear about that.
Shout the fuck out to Sturgill Simpson, who absolutely rocks.
My stonks up was going to be obviously a little more mainstream, but Billie Eilish. I never have listened to Billie Eilish before, like at all. And the only songs that I've really heard from are like Bad Guy, which I think is just an actively bad song.
Oh, fuck off. No, Bad Guy's a great song.
I hate
Bad
that
Guy
song.
rules.
Bad Guy, no. That is
Sure.
high quality
That
good shit.
is her Nice for What? Everybody loves that
Nice
song.
for what's great.
Nice for What's a great song.
Everyone loves that song. I don't get it. I don't understand. I think it's one of Drake's
You're just a fucking
worst
hater.
songs.
Yeah.
I love Drake, and I think it's one of his worst songs.
You're like
Anyways.
the worst kind of super fan of a certain musician where you're like, I like all the
Bohemian
deep stuff.
Rhapsody's bad.
No, I like most
too
of his
mainstream.
music.
I like
jocks.
39.
Give me any other popular Drake song, I probably like it. That one I just didn't like. Bad Guy I didn't get, so I was kind of out on Billie Eilish. Accidentally, honestly, was listening to my liked music with the Smart Shuffle feature on Spotify. For some reason, they just started pumping me a lot of pop music, and I was like, whatever. Billie Eilish came on, didn't even realize it was her. I was like, damn, this song rocks.
Billie Eilish is cool.
It was Chihiro. I don't know how it's pronounced for a new album. I got into the album. I've been listening to it pretty much on repeat for the last 2 days. Big time in on Billie Eilish. And I guess while we're doing Stonks Up,
Billie Eilish also seemingly like into gooning. She just wouldn't stop talking about her masturbation habits.
She-
when
Oh, it's
did,
nice
like,
to see another goon man. out
she's
in the
just like
wild.
kind of goofy. I don't really know a whole lot about her too much. I know her brother produced a lot of her music.
Phineas, yeah. They write and do all their stuff together.
Yeah, they're a real Elton John, and
Bernie Taupin.
that's right.
You know about Bernie?
No.
What you know about Bernie?
Mm,
Bernie writes the lyrics. Elton
Not
doesn't
to
have
be
time for that
confused with
shit.
Bernie bottoming.
Right. But what a king. I love that move from Elton John. The worst part of doing anything musically is writing lyrics. Fuck writing lyrics. Shout out people. I'm so impressed by people who are good lyricists. Not the fucking dumb Taylor Swift stuff. Like real good, like Father John Misty, Josh Tillman, incredible lyricist. That seems like the most impressive thing to do because like loving music and coming up with weird shit is such a different part, at least for me, a different part of the brain than like saying something. So shout out good lyricists. Shout out Elton John that he's like, I'm doing 0% of that. You give me some fucking words. I will make an absolute banger out of it, but I'm not coming up with one fucking word.
Nah, he's too busy gooning.
We need a like spike.
That's right.
And also, could I just personally shout out the DNVR bar, our friends, our All-City friends in Denver. Whoa! So, I mean, you're
That
much
was
better
quick
than
on
me.
the trigger.
For the
That's
Stanley
where I was
Cup,
going. That's where I was about to say.
a.k.a. the STNLY CP.
I love that.
Not to be confused with the
I'm trying to find
CMP,
It's all city. We don't do vowels around these parts, and it also protects us legally.
except in the.
Oh, wait, is that why they do it?
Yeah, that's why they did it at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a mix of it allows us to get away with a lot more stuff.
Is it playing? I'm trying to play the...
It is.
He's just
Are
hammering
you
cut my penis.
just ruining the audio?
Splash around in here. Splash around in here. Cut my penis.
They're having a watch party for the Stanley Cup Final, as are we. So a little bit of rivalry there. But you should head there if you're in
can
Denver.
do both.
$12 tenders and fries for all games. Excuse me? Maybe I'll be there. Monday through Friday, happy hour, 4 to 6 p.m. and 8 to 10 p.m. Man, folks, hopefully be in our streams.
Again, you could do both.
We're gonna go on before the Cup Final. I haven't figured out exactly how long, but probably like an hour or more before puck drop. Correct? We'll hang out. We'll maybe play video games. We'll CMP. We'll goon.
We will not CMP.
We will not CMP.
There will be no CMP or gooning.
I was
don't
gonna
think we
say,
have
well, I
the-
love that the first thing you were like, under no circumstances will we. I mean, when we say goon, it doesn't mean anything. I still don't totally understand what that word means, and I don't really want to. But I want to be one of the kids who says it because it's cool.
I like that.
It's funny you said. I was reading something earlier today about how
But how cool gooning is.
Well, just this generation of people who say gooning, and I don't know what they're referred to. Is that Gen Gen A? Like what?
What? Like the gooning
Yeah, like
generation?
children.
I think Gen Z.
Is it Gen Z still? I don't know. Anyways, they
Gen X?
they have like created a fourth person pronoun by using chat all the time. Like they'll be doing stuff and they'll just be like, chat, what's going on? And like there won't be a chat there. There's not like an active chat. They're just using it to refer to like a mythical fourth person and like breaking the fourth wall. And it's fascinating because it's like not anything that's ever really been in the English language, like actively referring to the fourth person just as a part of conversation.
Now,
The way that we're like progressing as a society in a lot of ways does not seem productive.
you just
It's
used the
very-
word progressing, and I don't know if that's correct for
That's-
what society is doing.
I
There's
suppose
another
that if
word
I'm
that
making-
starts with an R that
That's
might...
true. If I'm
Yeah.
saying that the way that we're progressing is not productive, I think that
That's just
I'm trying to say
regression.
that we are regressing.
Yeah,
There's a good. That's a good take. We've had some good ones today.
we're changing.
We're
We're
changing. We're evolving.
We're changing.
Evolving.
Or
yeah.
devolving.
I
Yeah,
mean-
I saw a clip that was a guy singing "Take Me to Church" with all those words, and I watched the whole thing like twice. He's like, "My lady, she's a gooner."
Yeah,
And he's saying stuff about what does skibbity mean?
that is the one that I just don't know.
I don't know that,
That
one.
is
That's
like-
the one. If that's the one you don't know, then buddy,
Well,
you're
because most of
gooning.
them refer to like things. That just sounds like they purposefully made something up just to confuse older
It
people.
all sounds like they're making stuff up to
That's-
confuse older
no, but
people.
like edging is a thing, and they just use it as a meme.
But edging was always a thing.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's a lot of their
Edging's
stuff.
gone mainstream. It's for
Chat
jobs.
has
It is,
always
yeah.
been a
Edging is
thing.
for sure for jocks now. It used to be like that was
That
an
was something that
independent
you
label
kept to
kind
yourself.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the hippies and the indie kids.
Like, yeah, the skibbity is the one thing where I like, as Metal says in the chat, I've never met anyone who can explain it to me.
we would fuck up media day right now. If we were
Gardax
there.
Guardian says, I don't think anyone knows, which is, I hope, a brunch reference.
I saw a lot of brunch. I've seen a few brunch references, I'll say, in today's chat, which was very nice.
I like the idea of the brunch references going over Sean's head and just having no idea. But like,
You're our Andy
when-
Bernard.
when
You
we-
joined up with us a few seasons in.
when we would say like ignorant things and be uninformed on a topic, we would just say, I don't think anybody knows.
I like that. move.
Everybody's as stupid as we are.
It's lightly stolen, as is everything from 30 Rock. Tina Fey's character, Liz Lemon, would just very often dismissively say, I don't know what that means.
Time for the like spike. If you're here, thank you very much. This has been a long show, but congratulations for gooning it out with
It
us.
was productive.
Please hit that thumbs up button right below the video player. Thank you very much. Get those likes up. Let's watch them climb expeditiously. Also, hit the subscribe button on the YouTube if you have not yet done that. We'd very much appreciate it. Be sure to tune in to our live streams every game day for the Cup Final. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We can watch the games together. We can have fun. We can eat some snacks, have some drinks.
What's that shit going to be when I'm going to be checking in from Edmonton at the games during the streams? That shit's going to be...
Am I just going to, like, am I going to have to be here by myself?
You guys will be here, and I was going to say, like, if you can, like, tap in Laz as I check in, but, like, I'm going to be... keep the fucking line open. I'm going to be fucking gooning in from there.
We didn't discuss the idea of me having to do that solo.
I could
I don't
still-
like it.
How about this? I'll be like an absentee host. I'll open and close the shows. Be like, hey, everybody, what nuts? Hope you dub
But we're
nuts.
talking
Welcome,
about
blah,
a
blah.
full
then ask
game.
you a question and then
But we're
hop
talking about
off
like
and go
3
goon with my
hours worth of
friends.
content that you signed me up for solo that I did not sign up for.
I mean, first of all, if it were just you and
You
Sean,
abandoned your boy.
that's what an oil man does.
That's
I
true.
would trust you two with my life. Now, you want to get a third person and just make it like a mutual, especially for a watch stream. That really does not need a like quote unquote. Like the leader is the game.
Sure,
It's like you're just hanging out. All you have to do is when it comes in, just say.
but it has to be
Hello.
somebody. It has to be somebody in person. Like,
And
you-
also, you've streamed video games a lot, and you're like essentially emceeing that, right?
yeah, but there's more like comfort because I'm in my own home. Like I'm not like I'm playing a video game.
Sean,
like,
can we dress the set to look like Pete's home, please?
True.
I mean, if he's alone, he could just do it from home. Also, for the record,
then that comes off as a low effort stream.
Yes.
and I don't
Then
want that.
people say when DJ's there, they show up.
They don't mail it in.
They don't
yeah.
mail it in,
Yeah.
and then a bunch of.
whatever. All the Cup Final streams are going to be great, whether it's both of us, whether it's just me and Sean. We're going to have a great time. So please subscribe to the YouTube, tune in. Let's fucking hang out.
Someone said
let's enjoy this Stanley Cup Final as much as we possibly can. I think it's going to be great.
Lambert.
Yeah, that'd be
Someone
fun.
said he'd be good.
Yep.
Dan Soder.
If Dan Soder and Katie want to come to Boston and hang out and watch a Cup Final game,
Did not say Katie. I said Dan Soder.
well, a real
if we-
package deal.
What if we
these
started
days.
playing hard to get with Katie?
It's just cut her out of the equation.
Every time
out the middleman.
we want a piece of content to be good, we're like, Katie, please. And then we're like, somebody requested Dan Soder. Give us Dan. I don't know. Maybe. So now the chat actually thinks we have it. Dan Soder's not going to do this. But yeah, Katie, Sarah Siv. We have so many friends. Donovan McNabb, somebody said. Sure.
Syracuse legend.
Oh, people forget. Okay.
Syracuse basketball legend.
I think that Johnny Laz would be great for this.
But you have to come to Boston.
I was saying to Sean before
Maybe he
one of
would.
the shows.
Actually, he's probably covering the games.
Maybe.
I bet he's traveling.
I'm always wrongfully assuming that the Johnny Lazarus is a Boston guy. He's like the most New York guy.
He's a Massachusetts guy.
He's a modern day Billy
University
Joel.
of Massachusetts guy.
That's
So
right.
maybe that's where the confusion comes in. Also, shout out to the Empty Netters guys. They shared a story very similar
Yes.
to our story about the James Dolan interaction. So if you want to go view the Empty Netters
Check
and their
that
story,
out.
yeah. It'll be illuminating.
Someone drop in the Discord.
It will reinforce some of the things that we've said about our experiences trying to work with the New York Rangers or trying to do anything that is tangentially related to the Rangers. So shout out to the Netters guys. Those are great. Those guys are great. So is Johnny Laz. So enjoy the Stanley Cup Final. Enjoy it with us, preferably. But if not, enjoy. Let's see you next week. Let's see you for the games. It is the best time of year.
Somebody said they can get us Nick Mullen. Get us him. All right. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.